Hey, it's BCS here, and today is a happy day for me because I got a capture device that can actually grab the output from my Commodore's monitor, so I don't have to use Vice anymore when I make these videos, and because I have a new little tool for the Commodore 64 that I developed to share with all of you. So that tool is called SEND64, and it's just a simple file transfer program that lets me use the user port Wi-Fi modem that I have on my C64 to send a file to my computer. No more plugging a drive into the Zoom floppy or, saving on to the SD to IEC, having to bring the SD card over to my computer, copy the file off, and remember to bring the SD card back to the Commodore. So much easier, so much quicker. Well, maybe not quicker, but easier, and I'm pro lazy. There's two parts to this. On the Commodore, there's SEND64, like I mentioned, and on the computer side, a little Python script aptly named Receive64. So first here on the computer side, I will start up Receive64. You can see there's only a couple options. It's really basic. You don't need to use them at all. We'll go ahead and fire it up. And now that it's waiting, I will switch to the Commodore. I have Jiffy DOS, so I'll use the lazy DOS wedge load command. This takes a second. And now running it, it's going to ask just three prompts. The server, which I happen to know my Mac's IP, so we'll type that in. The file name, which we're actually going to use this to send its own source code to back it up to the computer. And then lastly, whether or not it is a program or sequential file. Now, while that loads, why did I write this? Well, I actually enjoy using my Commodore, not just for playing old and new games, but BBSs, coding, and just general use. And hey, my website, heyitsbcs.com, link in the description, it's self-hosted, and I use Hugo, which means all of the posts and pages are written using Markdown. And this led me to come up with the crazy idea to write a Markdown editor for the Commodore 64 and 128, but that's only helpful if there's an easy way to get the files onto the server. Okay, now you see this ready press return prompt. That actually came from Receive64, letting the Commodore know it's ready. So I just press the return key, and the file transfer starts. Now, there isn't any fancy UI or progress bar or anything yet. I may end up adding that in the future. I do also want to make a version that runs natively on Commodore 128, not just in 64 mode. But for now, you can watch the transfer on the computer side. You can see each block of 256 bytes comes in. A checksum is calculated and compared. Now, given that this is intended for use on my local network, it's using a Wi-Fi modem and TCP connection, not dial-up. I haven't bothered with any real error handling. It doesn't resend blocks if the checksum failure happens, for instance. If that ends up being an issue, I might add it, but for now, it just blasts the file over. And so, as you can see here, the file was received, and since this was the actual Turbo Macro Pro source file, let's go ahead and use TMP view to view it and see that it came across fine. And there you go. You can see the opening of the source file. Now, back on the Commodore side, you see it went ahead, printed done, and just returned right back to basic. No having to restart the computer. You can just get back to whatever you want to do next. So there you go. A simple tool for a simple purpose. Makes it easy for me to back up files from my Commodore onto another computer and gets me one step closer to being able to make more ridiculous tools like a Markdown editor. Links to the GitHub for the Python script and my website for the actual tool are in the description below. Thanks.